What do we have here? Wow, that is a mess. Rust everywhere. It looks like the rust is deep enough. It's actually pitting into the sublevel of the machine itself. Oh my gosh, this down here is all rusted and pitted as well. The decaling is all but gone. This machine is a mess. Now you can't see that because you don't have these cool magnifiers. But I posted where you can get them. My buddy out of New York wondered about it and shared the information with him, so don't be jealous. Don't be envious for even an instant. You can get your own pair. These are way cool, and they help a lot when it comes to seeing up close. But for your sake, because you don't have these cool magnifiers yet, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and let you see the progressive steps of this project. This machine came to me from Shelly out of Texas. And this machine that you eventually will see the final product of is a 1909 Model 27. And it was in the roughest condition I've ever received a machine in before. The birth date of this machine is August 18th, 1909. So we've got a birthday party coming up for this machine, and you know what? There's something to celebrate, as you'll see at the very end of this video after we've gone through all the progressive steps and pictures of what took an 8-month project, 8 months of working on this machine and getting it right for Shelly out of the great state of Texas. So let me zoom in, and some of these pictures, some are long, some are short, so you're just going to have to do your best to kind of figure out how poor off this machine in fact was when I got my hands on it. So hold on a second, I'm going to set down my cool magnifiers and zoom in on this first picture to show you the state of when this machine was received. I'll kind of loosen up my camera a little bit so I can zoom in fairly close, hopefully. Hopefully on a big screen you'll be able to see more of what I'm seeing. Let's see if I can. Look at that. Isn't that horrific? It almost looks like it has something growing on it. And you know what? It might in fact have had something growing on it. You can see these parts down here. That's all rust. That's absolutely rust all over it, including the shuttle. So I don't know where Shelly had this machine or where she acquired it, but needless to say, it needed a lot of attention. So I'm gonna try to set my camera so that it will actually behave and stay in one spot. Remember the last video we did, it kind of was jostling around a little bit, and I may have to make some subtle adjustments. I'm going to flip my screen, and hopefully when you watch this on a big screen you'll be able to get even a better impression of just how poor off this Model 27 in fact was. Did I drift already a little bit? It looks like I might have. Well, not horrible. See if I can adjust it just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so again, you're looking at a project that took 8 months. Obviously, I didn't work only on this machine. You've seen a lot of other machines pop up, but this was definitely a major focus for quite a while, and it looks like I am going to have to kind of get up and down and up and down, and that's okay, because just the way the pictures were taken, they're not going to line up just exactly right. So here again you get kind of a distant shot. This doesn't really reveal some of the issues. You've seen that already, the roughness of that. We're going to kind of go up a little bit and look at the bed. You kind of get the impression there. That's all rust coming through. Look at this here in the raceway area. Stand still there, Mr. Camera. You can even see the plate, pitted, rusty, just a mess. I think the easiest thing to do is I'm just going to keep hopping up and down and see if I can go through it that way. I want you to be able to see, otherwise the pictures really don't have the impact when you see the final product. You know what I mean? This one I think really reveals from the back side of the machine kind of some of the challenges. You can see that. That's not, I mean that's rust. That's rust all the way to the core. Just an absolute mess of a machine. Down here you can see it as well. Okay, let's go to the next one. And if you're standing up right now, you might want to sit down. I've got quite a few progress photos. I want to really give you a clear impression of where things are at with this machine when I first got it. I'll be honest with you, when I opened up the box, I thought, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? I'm going to try to adjust those lights a little bit too. I'm just not getting the brightness on there that I'd like to see. Let's see if that helps a little bit, hopefully. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. So you can pretty much see any part of the machine. Center decaling is just a mess. How's that finish look to you? Can you see the pitting? I think you can. I'm going to hold it really still. The rust deep into the metal. I mean, it just basically tried to eat this machine up, and thank goodness Shelly got it to me when she did. You can just barely see the serial number there. Really can't really see it even, but so I come up here. Oh my gosh. Yep. That is a machine in need. Came to the right place, thank goodness. All right, next picture. What this is going to highlight more is also the mechanical soundness of the machine. I mean, the rust carried all the way through the machine. I mean, it was everywhere to be found. You see here on the front of the faceplate. Try to go down as slow as I can. Even on the needle shaft, you can see there's rust in there as well. Rust all the way into that area. And if you follow it down, you know, you can pretty much see from side to side in the shuttle area the space that it would travel. I mean, it just, ugh. You know, it almost hurts to see a machine this far gone, but the salvation is what you'll see in the end, and the different steps that we went through. This again is just another shot. I think this is an excellent shot. It really gives you an idea of the extent of the rust. You can almost see it better from that distance right there. The extent of the rust was overwhelming, and it wasn't just surface rust. I mean, it went deep into the machine. Can you see that? I hope you can. And not just rust, but it was to an extent. When rust gets extremely rapid, I mean, it turns that darker brown where you can see almost like the veins running through the rust. Crazy, huh? All right, let's go to the next one. Here you can see the front near tension control. And again, it's just highlighting the surface and the subsurface issues that we had to contend with. You can see down in here. Again, this is a critical part of the machine, obviously. I mean, you're dealing with the raceway area that, I mean, you need free motion. You need an area that is clean and rust-free, and that was anything but true when this machine first arrived. There you can even see the tension control area is riddled with rust as well. And as we come up here, you can see again, it kind of gives you a good impression. Oops. Gives you a good impression of just how extensive it in fact was. All right, next picture. See, if I was the big operation some of you think I am when you first contact me, because of, you know, if you Google sewing or vintage or whatever, we pop up quite a bit. But I'm a very small operation. I mean, pretty much me. And on this project, my daughter jumped in as well towards the end and was able to help quite a bit in getting the new decals in place that you'll eventually see. And so here again, you're just seeing, look at that, you can see the serial number plate, barely. As we come up the pillar area, you see the paint? I mean, it's literally bubbling up from underneath. You can see the Singer branding and decal. You can see the stitch length controller is just, I mean, riddled and pitted with rust. I mean, it's just an absolute mess. You actually have oxidation to a point where it's turning green on the Singer emblem there as well on the right side. And as you come up here where you should see a beautiful decal in place, it's just, again, just disintegrated and overlaid with a rust level that, you know, is unmatched by anything, quite honestly, I've ever seen in a machine. Whoops. I'm having fun today with trying to control this silly camera. All right, next picture. Now we're looking at the side of the machine. Whoops, we were looking at the side of the machine. Maybe this is getting so heavy it's not going to stay in place, which would be a bummer. Probably have to keep sticking new holes in my trifold, and eventually it's going to be like a bird's nest. Hopefully we can get through this and you'll be able to see kind of what I'm looking at. So here's the side, and you know, it's the tip of the iceberg analogy. If there's this much rust on the surface, you can imagine what I found underneath the undercarriage and in other parts of the machine. I mean, it was just mind-blowing. There again, you can see the rust carrying from the top to the back of the machine. You've already seen some shots of that. So, yeah, a very troubled, sick Model 27, to say the least. All right. I might have to start tearing these off if these papers won't stay up. I hope they do. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we're obviously looking at the bottom of the machine, which you can't see it all right on the shot, but you will shortly, hopefully. Okay, so there's the bottom of the machine, and as I alluded to, we get nice and close. You can see that the rust carried, and there's other little creatures living in there, I think, right there above. And as we move across nice and slow, you can see it tried to attack that shaft. You know, again, rust is insidious. It's like quite honestly like a cancer. I mean, we deal with it in this world on pretty much anything that can pick it up, anything on metal. And you're going to be battling rust at one point or another. So you get the impression. I mean, that rust was everywhere. All right, next picture. That's going to be, you know, this next picture is real close, I think, to the opening picture, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is really just to highlight that everything from the balance wheel to the smaller components of the machine were riddled in rust, and the rust had gone to the point of pitting into the metal as well. So again, I don't know the history on this machine. I didn't ask Shelly how she acquired it. And she may have mentioned it to me, and Shelly, I apologize if you did mention it and I should remember it, but you know, it may have been a family heirloom that was just kept in a place where it was exposed to every element known to man. I feel like I'm doing shrimp skewers here or something. All right, so this again is just showing a closer shot of the balance wheel. Again, pretty much every surface that was metal and every surface that had metal underneath it. I mean, you're looking at the impact of years and years and years of, hate to say neglect, but maybe being left to its own devices, being exposed to the elements. So, and probably by the extent of the rust, I wouldn't be surprised if it was kept in a barn or in a damp basement or somewhere else where it just didn't have the benefit. I think what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to separate the current pictures, because it's getting kind of heavy too, and I don't want this thing to tip over. That would kind of ruin the excitement of showing you. So bear with me for a second while I cut this down a bit, and I'll preserve these for Shelly. This will go with the machine, and she'll have a basically a remembrance of where the machine was at and where it ended up, which is cool. All right, so I think we got a fighting chance now. So this again, this shot is similar to the last one you saw. Some of them are going to be similar. Matter of fact, I would say that's probably close enough. The only thing I'll zoom in on a little bit is the face plate, so you can get a closer look at the face plate maybe and just see the extent of the rusting. Okay, so I'm going to come out on there. We'll go to our next shot. I think we'll be okay to get to the end now, because I took paper's heavy, duh, and hopefully I've taken enough weight off of this that we can get through the rest of the pictures. There's quite a few pictures left, folks, so again, you know, find a comfortable seat or something. So here you're seeing the back of the faceplate. I mean, the rust was pretty much everywhere. Certain parts it was worse, certain parts it was, I mean, pitted deep, deep, deep into the sub-layers of the metal. And you know, quite honestly, you normally don't see this extent of rust on the faceplate. You just don't. So it just gives you an idea of, I mean, how aggressive this was attacking the machine. And, you know, again, apart from Shelly having the confidence to send the machine to me so I could deal with this, this machine would be a loss. And those metal recycle guys would have been licking their chops trying to get their fingers on it, no doubt. So again, they don't have any regard whatsoever for the intrinsic value of these incredible machines. Even in this state, I see value in this machine even when it was in this state. And you can see here as well on the Bobbin Winder. Bobbin Winder as well was pitted and rusted extensively. There's where your bobbin wheel should go. Good luck getting that on and having it do anything close to what it's supposed to be doing. So I don't think I found any place it didn't have rust, to be honest with you. If you see any like that, let me know. Send me a note. So here the process began of trying to get down to a layer of metal that was not affected by the rust. Layer after layer after layer. Combination of using scraping, heat gun, some chemicals as well to break this down and just get down to a level that gave some sort of a foundation to build on. because right at the beginning there wasn't really any foundation to be found whatsoever. All right, next picture. Here's kind of a close-up as well. Again, I think this really speaks volumes when it comes to the damage to this beautiful Model 27. Here you can almost see the metal kind of flaking off. It's gone that deep into the machine. Here we're starting to make some headway on the bed. Even where the bobbin plates go, there was extensive rust. You can see we're starting to have some success in getting that rust to come loose. You're starting to see some evidence that we're getting down to a layer on the bed where we're starting to make some sort of an impact on the degradation of the metal and such. So just another shot here, layer by layer by layer by layer by layer, getting that rusted, poisoned paint and metal off of the machine. Rust, as many of you probably know, it's kind of like cancer, like I alluded to before. If you don't get it all off, it's going to resurrect and come back to haunt you again. So you've got to go and go and go and go and go and go, and hope that when you get down to a layer that is salvageable, there's actually enough metal left that the machine is going to be something that can be preserved and something that will operate as a sewing machine. Here we're starting to make headway on the faceplate. You can see on the right is the part that pittedness of the, hopefully pittedness is a word, I don't know if it is. Y'all, if any of you are English majors, you can let me know. But that area that was pitted and just laden in rust on the right is now to a point where it's looking like it's starting to come back. On the left, we haven't really done much with that yet. There you can see it even better there in that slightly closer. Oops, went the wrong way. Okay, next picture. All right, so this is obviously off the back of the machine. Same thing. Here you've got the top half of it that we've made an impact on. The bottom half is still in its original state. Kind of getting a little bit of a glare off the light there, but hopefully you get the idea. All right, next picture. This is after a significant amount of sanding and grinding. I'm hoping that that little skewer I'm using holds this up. This is all the way down below where the pitting and the rusting had impacted this machine. I like to call this the silver bullet version of the machine. See if I can hold this a little bit more steady. here you can still see we don't have all the paint off yet. Not all the paint is off of it yet. But I'll be honest with you, I might do a machine like this sometime where it's all the way down to that sub-metal. It has that really cool silver bullet look to it, and then seal that paint so the pigment is protected, and offer that for sale. I just think it'd be the coolest machine ever. Somebody says to you, what color is your machine? And you say, well, it's kind of a silver. And they could take a look at your machine and go, whoa, that's way cool. All right, there we go. So here's the side of the machine from the balance wheel side. You can see as well, getting down to a point now where that rust and that pitting is starting to be defeated. Still a long ways to go though. Again, you can see there's a fair amount of paint left on the bed at this point. All right, next picture. I may have to cut this paper one more time. It's getting real heavy. I'm not wanting it to drop down. Oh boy. Okay, so here we have the balance wheel. We've got a combination of part of it that has been restored. To the right there, kind of see that. And as we move to the left, we're still fighting that rust, that pitting, and that caramelization and everything else that happens to metal when it's attacked by those elements. So, all right, next picture. I think we got about 4 pictures left, so if any of you are going, I really need to go to the restroom, hit pause, because we're almost done. Okay, so we're looking at the back of the machine here. And again, you can see there are some areas of impact that are evident. You see a lot more metal and a lot less rust, which is a good thing. And this obviously carried into the machine as well, so some of those pictures won't be shown, but there had to be rust inhibitors and cleaning and conditioning on the inside of the machine as well. Because again, you know, rust is basically from the inside out. So if you don't deal with the stuff inside, just as you do on the outside, eventually it's going to rear its ugly head again. And those are my daughter's beautiful hands. When we finally got the machine to a point where, oh, come on. We got the machine to a point where it was rust-free and where that surface was nice and prepared. The painting had to occur, and then after the painting had to occur, by hand, carefully, meticulously, the new decals had to be put into place. And then eventually my friend AJ, who I mentioned in one of the videos that I'm partnered with now, and he's an award-winning professional auto painter. After my daughter Ashley got these decals put into place, and there was already a nice hard coat of high-grade paint underneath those decals, then they had to be clear-coated and protected so that they were preserved on that machine as they were originally when this Model 27 left the factory. So that gives you an idea of the incredible pilgrimage from start to finish that had to be accomplished to get this machine to a point where we can send it back to the great state of Texas and to Shelly, and she can go, are you serious? I watched the video, really? And you know, the only way to document for absolute sure that this is the original machine, which it is by the serial number on the front. Because what you've seen in those progressive photos and what you see now, you're not going to believe your eyes. So, are you ready? I hope you're ready. All right. So I'm going to come out on the shot a little bit, and then I'm going to move this board so you can get your first look of Shelly's machine. That should be fairly good right there, I think. And I'll kind of zoom in on it a little bit as well. All right. Again, Shelly's Model 27, born August 18th, 1909. Matter of fact, before I reveal it, I want to do an impromptu contest. This is basic math, and any of you that are okay with jumping into the math game, let's do a quick impromptu contest. I've already told you when this machine was born, August 18th, 1909. What I want you to tell me now is how many years old is this machine? All right? Okay, let's move this partition. You've been very patient through a very long process. Here we go. Are any of you doing a drum roll? I gotta know. I gotta know. Any drum rolls? Come on, give me a drum roll. My good friends out of Texas, they know, give me a drum roll. All right. I hear you yelling. I hear you yelling. Get the heck out of the way with it. We want to see Shelly's machine. And there it is. And Shelly decided not to go with the same decals that were originally on the machine. She wanted to have a Celtic flavor, which is what this machine now has, is Celtic decals. And I think they're spectacular. I think she made exactly the right choice. So let's zoom in a little bit more so you can see this machine up close. And I'll rotate it for you as well, maybe a little bit, so you can kind of see the different sides of it. Does it look any different? Maybe a little different. Maybe a little different. And I'll tell you one thing, video just doesn't do justice. When you see this thing in person, you're like, are you really serious? That's the same machine. You bet it is. After 8 months. All right, let me see if I can flip my screen around and I'll carefully pick this up. I don't even handle this machine by hand. And I know that's a little bit funny, but I use this cloth because I want to protect. I wear my rings, I have my watch, and I don't want to in any way scratch this beautiful machine. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it up carefully, turn it around so you can see the back side. And I'll zoom in on it for you. Silence is powerful, isn't it? All right, let's turn it so that you can see the faceplate a little bit. Remember what that faceplate looked like? With that rust and everything on it? The scrolling on this faceplate, and this is the original one Shelly sent, it's probably one of the prettiest faceplates that I have ever seen in a machine of this era from the early 1900s. The detailing, I mean, look at that. Absolutely spectacular. Remember what that shuttle area, the raceway area, looked like? Just a little difference. Just a little difference. Let me turn this around so you can see the balance wheel. I think that'll be the last angle that I have to give you to show you. I'm almost tempted to take the camera off the tripod and oh, there we go. And if you ever wondered, is a Model 27 heavy? Yeah, it is. I'm getting my workout for sure. So you remember what the balance wheel looked like. And the clutch area. That shine is just spectacular. I mean, all the other restorative steps, I will take credit for that. Certainly my daughter and family kind of jumped into some of this project because I just had so many other machines to get ready, and this machine was just so needy, so absolutely needed, needing that one-on-one attention, even over such a long period of time. I mean, it's crazy how much attention this machine needed. As a matter of fact, real quick, I'm going to see if I can do this without making any of you go, holy cow, what's going on, earthquake or what? Let's see if I can carefully detach my camera and get even closer. This machine deserves absolute attention right now, and so you can really just see how spectacular she is, even up close like this. It's actually a little bit easier to control. Remember what that bobbin winder looked like? The pitting and the rust? And yes, I'm going to put a bobbin winding tire on there for Shelly. Don't send me notes and say, Scott, are you gonna send it without the bobbin winding tire? Of course I'm going to put a bobbin winding tire on this machine. Silly guys. Look at that shine. Holy macro. You can see all my stuff on the shelves. That's fun. Oh, and the serial number. If you want to look it up yourself, if I can get the right angle. Looks like I'm going to get a little bit of reflection. That surface is so shiny now. See if we can do that way. Camera's saying, I don't think I want to show you that. We're so close. Can you see that? I've already given you the date though, so you pretty much know the date. You just have to calculate the date based on this new year, 2018. Tell me how many years old it is. And make sure you post it on Facebook, because otherwise I'm not going to likely see it right away. Boy, I'm having trouble focusing this thing today. That's even better from a distance, isn't it? Maybe that's part of it, as I was zoomed in and it was... Boy, that makes a difference. All right, Scott, how long have you had this camera and you're still trying to figure this puppy out? So look at it from the top down, too. And now I'll give you a closer shot of it from the back as well. That is the same machine.